Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Just about 48 minutes after 6 o'clock. If you need to get ready to go, then make sure you do so quickly. But if you don't, I want you to take your time and listen to this conversation, because this morning we continue to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week. And we're going to chat a little bit about fears and challenges that are faced by entrepreneurs. Because, of course, everybody tells you, go out, be an entrepreneur. But there's certain things that you have to consider, and you have to know how you're going to navigate. Because if you reach certain hurdles and certain boundaries, it's going to be difficult. I want to welcome Ms. Summer Edwards-Williams, who's shaking her head like, yes. Yes, they have some things here that will be rough. Good morning, Summer. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. I'm good.
So you are a life coach, an author, a motivational speaker, and I mean, among other things, right?
Yes.
And this morning, I wanna chat a bit about some of the things that you would have gone through as an entrepreneur, to be able to sit here today and to be able to say, well, I've overcome these things, or I'm still working through these things. As an entrepreneur, can you tell me some of the first hurdles that you would have faced in business?
Anxiety. Anxiety, because there's fear of failing, fear of not meeting the standard of what you have in your mind, the perspective of entrepreneurship that you have in your mind. And that disease you call comparison, where you begin to compare yourself and not even realizing that the journey of the others that you're looking at isn't your journey.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that I would have encountered was sitting and feeling as though I have no value, until I came to the understanding that there is a people that is there for me. And if I don't get up and show up, then what I have for them, they would not receive it. And so I had to stop comparing myself and really do some introspection. What do you have in your hand? What is in you that is valuable? And I used that within my sphere. And so that would have been my benchmark in terms of getting out and being public, because that anxiety is really, really something that must be defeated in terms of moving forward.
How were you able to defeat it? How were you able to, what made you say, okay, I have this thing that I need to give to people? What was the turning point for you?
The same people that I compared myself with, and the same people that I thought or assumed that they were succeeding, and some evidently so, I removed pride and I asked for help. I reached out because I don't have all the answers. And obviously, those who are successful would have already gone before,
right,
and would have experienced some hurdles that probably I have not even reached as yet. So I put pride aside and I reached out to strangers. I'm new in this thing and I would like some guidance, even if I have to pay for it. One of the things that keep us back as well is fear of investing in ourselves. And if you're an entrepreneur or you're thinking about it, investing in yourself is very important.
Yeah.
And there is a cost. There's a price.
Yeah.
And the only way to get better is to invest.
So when you say investing in yourself, I want you to break that down, because I know, like, as an entrepreneur myself, I struggle with that for years, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not a kind of person that I don't like sets of clothes and things, so I'll be as minimalist as possible.
Right.
But I'm on TV every single day, right? So if I wear the same thing every day, then people will be like, "But you know, no clothes."
You know, no clothes.
You know what I mean? And it turns out to be a situation of branding being important, of whatever it is. But when you say investing in yourself, do you mean that buying things, say a business, or do you mean investing in you as a person?
Both. Because investing in yourself in terms of your business acumen, you have to be at a place where the things that you have, the skill set that you had 10 years ago, obviously now COVID came and changed a lot of things. So the dynamics of things has changed.
Yeah.
So you invest in courses, you invest in programs. For myself, I'm a life coach, so I would have invested in programs, life coaching programs that would help to add value to what I'm offering my clients.
Yeah.
In terms of my personal development, the way that I speak, presentation skills, the way that I dress, the circles that I get myself in.
But is that still for is that for yourself, or is that still for your business? Because your business would require you to be in particular networking circles. It would still require you to do some of those things you're talking about in terms of public speaking. That's not for you per se, that's your business.
But your
you
business,
are the business
is you.
And that's where it becomes tricky, right?
Your business is you. Whatever you do, because every business has a culture, and the culture is based on the CEO of the business. Your values, the things that you value, the things that you believe, your morals. So your mission, your vision, all of that is you. And it's reflected in the business. So the business is the manifestation of what is internally, what is on the inside of you.
How can fear be a barrier to entrepreneurship in general? Because I mean, you spoke about the anxiety aspect of it. I mean, if you have too much anxiety, I imagine that you wouldn't be able to do very much. We have people who talk about imposter syndrome, where they feel like I shouldn't really be doing this because I'm not really good enough.
Yes.
You know, like I compare myself to people. So for example, if I was to sit here and say, maybe I shouldn't be on TV because I'm not as good as those guys I see on TV and BBC or whatever the case may be. How do we get past that fear, that is a barrier that you're creating, right?
Yes.
How do we get past that one?
For me, personally, prayer is important. Praying for your business and even yourself in terms of how you see yourself, the way God sees you, and having that dominion and authority that has been spoken over your life even before you were placed on this earth. Having that understanding, affirmations, speaking to yourself. We speak to everybody else except ourselves. We give everybody else.
Well, Gil, did I say I'm mad when you're talking to
That's
yourself?
all right. That's okay. But when you begin in psychology, the more you speak and say things or affirm things, your mind begins to believe that, and then your actions supports what you believe.
All right. So my challenge with that is, you know, I see people who do it, right? They affirm themselves and they go forth, and they are very what's the word you're looking for here, boy? Like, it's not just ambitious, but they go and they do it because they want to do it, but they're not necessarily actually good at it. Like, often, I've seen that way too often. And you know, I feel, personally, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be seen as this guy who's doing this. He's not good at it, but he pushy because he believes in himself and he pushy and he doing it. But he's not really that good at it.
There are two sides to that. One, there'll be someone like you who would observe and be brave enough to connect with him. And that's where, if he's humble enough or she's humble enough, they are able to take criticism. On the other side of that, in getting yourself out there, the truth is, people will see you eventually anyway. And you will begin to realize, even as you step up, even as you look at your business and you assess and all of that, you'll realize, hey, I need to tweak this a bit, how I present myself here. And so, even though they may not be good at it, they are positioning themselves to get better.
Yeah. How important is the circle of people that you keep around you?
Very important. If you are only pouring out and there's no one in your circle that can pour into you or even help you to get to another level, then you have to reassess and find the circles that would help you to get to your better self. Yes?
But it's like, it's kind of like steel sharpening steel is what you want.
Iron sharpen iron.
Iron sharpen iron. That's what you want for your relationships. But
It's
I mean,
key.
sometimes people feel as though, you know, all right, so if I reach out to let's say I want to be a marketing guru and I reach out to somebody who is a bigwig in a marketing agency or at a corporate company, and they have people reaching out to them every day. How do I stand out to them to say, well, you know, I'm not trying to steal what you have or whatever the case. I'm looking for mentorship. I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for that kind of thing. What is the approach that you recommend?
Well, most time these gurus are very busy. So one, you find the main person that is connected as the liaison for that person, and find the sources in terms of not just social media. I don't think social media, yes, social media is great, but traditional communication like emails and
email is traditional.
well,
Love it.
What I mean, you know, some people, they receive DMA.
Yeah.
There are some people don't look at their social media inbox, but they would look at an email.
Right.
So that's what I mean by traditional. But yes, so sending emails, finding a contact number, and you have to push. Because if you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. And you have to navigate. It's like research.
Of course.
It's like research.
How do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with reaching out to people and they completely ignore you? How do you deal with them when they say, no thanks, I'm good?
Well, after being rejected so many times, not that I'm immune to it, but I always say, in the multitude of no's, there is one yes. And sometimes when you have a lot of no's, it's an indicator to sit down, reflect, and then go again. Again, my strategy is prayer. So I'm led to where I go. You know, some may not have that, but they may have circles of people. Hey, you know, I'm trying to get onto this person. What do you advise?
Right.
And this is why, again, your circle has to be important.
Yes, and that's why your network is important as
That's
well.
correct.
Because it may not be an immediate circle, but knowing the right people in the right places can provide you with access to different
correct.
things. I think that the notion of continuing and trying again every time you get a no, I think that is a big part of what a lot of people don't understand about entrepreneurship. They think that, you know, if I'm doing this, it's gonna go in and
Yes.
everything's gonna be a-okay.
Yes.
And when they bounce at that first hurdle, that first no, sometimes people get so dejected and, you know, they don't know how to go forward from there. That first no is oftentimes the most difficult one.
Yes.
How do you get past that first one? The same prayer?
Yes, consistency is the key in anything. So whether it's prayer, whether it's speaking to someone, whether it's going again, because that person's one no does not give a general consensus of the others that you would address or you would go to. So as much as yes, it feels off, it's just one, go again. There are how many days in the year? 365. Go 365 times.
And after that, you could say you're giving up. At
Still
what point do you say, all right, maybe this isn't for me?
I wouldn't say it's not for you, but I would say sit down and ask yourself, am I asking the right question? So it may not necessarily be that it's not for you, but what is the question that you ought to ask to get the response that you need to take you to the next level? Because some people, they misinterpret what you're saying, or you are not able to articulate exactly what you want. And most times, my clients, when they come, what do you want out of this session? What are you expecting? And they can't say. So I have to help them navigate so that at the end of the day, they are able to even understand for themselves what they want and how to ask the relevant questions to get the relevant answers.
Nice. Summer, I want to thank you. I mean, we can chat about this for the entire morning.
I know, right?
I mean, as entrepreneurs, I'm sure we can have stories to tell these fantastic folks at home about some of these things that we would have gone through. But I think that, you know, it's important. One of the big takeaways for me from this conversation is definitely making sure your circle is right. Prayer is important. Fill into your cup as well as when you're pouring into other people's cup.
That's correct.
And, of course, be resilient.
Yes.
Be resilient.
Resilience is the key.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the Now Morning Show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. That's with Summer Edwards-Williams. She is a life coach, author, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur as we continue to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week here on the Now Morning Show. We take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to celebrate birthdays as well, so stay tuned.